Hello my dear friends, welcome to Live Prep. In the previous lecture, we studied about the blood clotting, also called as blood coagulation. Yes or no? So some pathway they have mentioned, but anyhow complete pathway was not given in NCERT. So few important steps they have given, so up to that we have studied. That's it. With that part is completed. Now in this lecture, we are studying about different types of circulatory patterns. In some organisms, so we are observing the open circulatory system. But in the higher organisms, so mainly in the case of lower organisms, we are observing open circulatory system. But in the case of higher animals, we are observing closed circulatory system. So what is the concept of this one? First we will see about these things, and then we will also study about the hearts. What are the different types of hearts? Vertebrate hearts, 2-chambered, 3-chambered, 4-chambered. Likewise, we are studying about this hearts. That's it. Very simple concept. So here what I will do is to explain you the information. I will draw some rough diagrams. Please remember, neatly labeled diagrams are not needed. In simple, I will try to explain you the important points. Clear? That much is enough. And now we are going with this open circulatory system. So what is this open circulatory system? Here circulation is taking place. Blood or tissue, body fluid, whatever it is being circulated in the body. Nice. But how exactly it is circulated? Now let us see here. In the first we will see for human so that you can easily understand this. In the case of human, if you are observing, suppose this is the heart. Now here what happens? Now from this heart, now here aorta or systemic arch will come, and from this it is going to the entire body. Some arteries are going to the upper portion also, but rough diagram I am drawing here. Now it is going to the body parts. It is going to the body parts. But when it is going to the body parts, please remember this blood is present within the tube-like structures only. Nowhere it is going into the tissues. Please observe this. Even though this tube-like structure is going into the tissues, it is not open anywhere. This is what the meaning is. It is not open anywhere. So though it is going through the body parts, so various tissues, still it is maintaining the tube-like structure. So blood is present inside this only. It is present there itself. Nutrients, gases, all these things, they are diffusing across this. Understood or not? That's it. But it is not completely open anywhere. And now what happens? From the body parts, now the deoxygenated blood is coming into the heart again. Yes or no? And from this, it is going into this. And from here, it is going to the lungs. Okay? And now again, from the lungs, again it is coming to this particular one. So here also, everywhere, blood is being circulated in some closed tubes. That's it. It is a tube, closed circulatory system. So in the case of human, if you are observing, blood is always moving in these tube-like structures. That's it. Nowhere it is directly exposed outside. So since it is completely going in this closed tube-like structures, it is called as closed circulatory system in the case of human. In the case of human, we are saying like this. So this is called as closed circulatory system. But in some organisms, like a cockroach, I am giving the example of cockroach because anyhow later on we will study about the cockroach also. So here what we are saying, in the case of cockroach, if you are observing, here also heart is present. Here also heart is present. See this. This is the heart. Total how many chambers are present? 13 chambers are present. Please remember this. Total 13 chambers are present. So it is the 13 chambered heart that is present in the cockroach. Nice. Heart is present. Now what the heart is doing? It is collecting the blood from the body cavity. Please remember the term body cavity. This is the body cavity. Now here what happens? From this heart, now here, now this is the first chamber. So from this first chamber here, it is opening directly. It is opening directly into the body cavity. That's it. Now please remember here, from this it is not completely closed up to the heart. It is open here. Since it is open here, what is happening? The blood that is collected in the heart, now it is pumped into this cavities. So now here it is completely, body is having the cavity. This fluid is freely moving within this body cavity. And again from the body cavity, it is again going into the heart and again coming into this and again going into the body cavity. So in this way, what we are observing from this particular heart, and here there is a small tube-like structure, it is called as anterior aorta. From this anterior aorta, now the blood is directly released into the body cavity. Body cavities are also called as sinuses. Body cavity, cavities means a sinuses. So this body cavity, mainly in this particular organism, we are calling this as Hemocoel. Hemocoel is the body cavity. Okay, please remember this. And in this body cavity, here it is having some fluid. The body cavity having the fluid is called as, that fluid is called as hemolymph. You can call it as blood, but please remember, in the case of cockroach, it is not red in color. Already in the breathing and exchange of gases chapter, I told you. In the case of cockroach, cockroach is an example for insect. So in the case of insects, tracheal tubes are present and they are directly carrying oxygen to tissues. That is the reason why in the case of these insects, there is no need for any oxygen carrying molecule like hemoglobin. So oxygen carrying hemoglobin is not required in the case of cockroach. So that's why the blood of cockroach, it is colorless. Okay, please remember this. But here we are talking about the closed or open circulatory system, and here the whatever the body fluid, that is called as hemolymph technically, and you can call it as blood also, no problem. And this blood is directly opened or directly released into the body cavities. So since it is not completely closed here, it is called as open circulatory system. So open circulatory system we are observing in the cockroach. Now we are studying about this, and not only in this cockroach. Cockroach means it is example for arthropoda. So we are observing this in arthropods and also even in the mollusca also. Arthropoda, mollusca. So these organisms, they are showing this open circulatory system. Clear? This is one important example. Now we are taking another example, but this is from the phylum Annelida. So there we are talking about the earthworm. But please remember, so though earthworm separately not there, as part of the animal kingdom, we can easily talk about this. Please remember, very important one, in the case of earthworm, it is a closed circulatory system. So whatever the blood that is passing, it is passing through some tube-like structures. It is always passing through these tube-like structures. That's it. It is not open directly into the body cavity. The blood is not directly going into the body cavity. Since it is in the closed system, this type of circulation is called closed circulation. And even in the case of human also, it is a closed circulatory system. Yes or no? Now here blood is passing through these tube-like structures. Always it is passing in the tube-like structures. But what is the advantage of this closed circulatory system? Why higher organisms are having this closed circulatory system? Because in the case of closed circulatory system, enough pressure can be maintained so that the proper supply of this particular blood to all these organs can be done. So that is what the advantage is. That is the reason why in the evolution higher organisms evolved closed circulatory system. That's why if you are observing that fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals means including human, all these are having closed circulatory system only. So in simply we are writing that chordates and they are having this closed circulatory system. Clear? This is what. And now here they have given the same sentences in NCERT. The circulatory patterns are two types: open circulatory system, closed circulatory system. Open circulatory system is present in the arthropods and mollusks, in which blood pumped by the heart passes through large vessels. Initially it is passing through large vessels, but it is opening into the spaces, into open spaces. They are also called as body cavities, also called as sinuses. So in this way, initially though to some extent it is passing in some tube or the blood vessels, finally it is released into the body cavity, sinuses. That's why it is open circulatory system. Next one, annelids and chordates, they are having closed circulatory systems. Okay, they are having closed circulatory systems. What is happening here? In which the blood pumped by the heart is always circulated through closed network of blood vessels. Always it is moving within these blood vessels only. Nowhere it is directly opened into the tissues or the tissue gaps, or you can call them as sinuses. They are not directly opening into the anywhere, they are not opening into the sinuses. That's why it is closed pattern. And this pattern is considered to be more advantageous. That's why higher organisms are having closed circulatory system. What is the reason here? As the flow of fluid can be more precisely regulated. So regulated flow, pressure maintenance, all these things can be easily done within the closed circulatory system, but not in the open circulatory system. This is what they are saying here. Clear? With that, open and closed types of circulatory systems concept is completed. Now we are talking about what are the various types of vertebrate hearts. First we will see the basic list, and then I will draw some rough diagrams. So with the help of that I will try to explain you the concept. Here two chambered heart we are observing in fishes, and three chambered heart we are observing in both amphibians and reptiles. But in the reptiles there is an exception, that is the crocodiles. Crocodiles are examples under the reptiles, but they will come under 4-chambered heart. So 4-chambered heart is present in crocodiles, which are reptiles, and birds and mammals. So only crocodiles are having this 4-chambered heart. Remaining all other type of reptiles are having 3-chambered heart. So this is one important point that you need to understand. Now here what we will study is what is the basic arrangement of 2-chambered heart, 3-chambered heart and 4-chambered heart, and what type of circulation it is, whether it is a single circulation, double circulation. If it is double circulation, is it complete or incomplete? Likewise, we will study some information. Clear? So first we will focus on the 2-chambered heart, and this we are observing in the fishes. I will draw some rough diagrams. Try to understand. Information is very simple. It is not at all complicated. Very simple. So we don't want to make neat diagrams because they will take so much of time. Now let us see here. In the case of 2-chambered heart, 2-chambered heart, 2-chambered heart. In the case of 2-chambered heart, so where we are observing this? In fishes. In the fishes. So only 2 chambers are present. This is one chamber and this is another chamber. That's it. Only 2 chambers are present. So one will be auricle. Auricle. Please remember, you can also call this as atrium. Okay, auricle or atrium. And there is one ventricle. Ventricle. In NCERT, they have given with numbers also. How many are present? One auricle is present and one ventricle is present. That means one atrium is present, one ventricle is present, one is present. So in this way, this is entirely called as heart. That's it. So in this heart total, how many chambers are present? Only 2 chambers are present. That's why it is the 2-chambered heart. Nice. Over. Next important information you need to understand is auricles. Please remember, they will collect deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. This is also very important for examination. Observe carefully here. Suppose here are the tissues. Tissues means body parts. Now from the body parts, now they are collecting the deoxygenated blood. So from the tissues, deoxygenated blood is collected and it is entering into the auricle or atrium. From the atrium, it is entering into the ventricle. And from the ventricle, please remember here, it is directly connected, right? So from the ventricle, what is going out? Again, it is deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. Please observe carefully here. So please remember, heart is collecting deoxygenated blood and is also sending deoxygenated blood. Same deoxygenated blood. But where it is going? Where it is going? It is going to the gills. To the gills. Please remember here. What happens at the gills? Please remember, in the case of fishes, lungs are not present, gills are present. Yes or no? So since gills are present, we are calling this as bronchial respiration. Yes or no? Already we studied about this in the breathing and exchange of gases. Now here at the gills, what happens? Oxygenation will occur. Exchange of gases will occur. So oxygenated blood will come here. Oxygenated blood will come here. And this oxygenated blood is supplied to the tissues. Please observe carefully. So in this way, in this particular complete cycle, how many times blood is coming to the heart in one cycle? In one complete cycle, how many times blood is coming to the heart? Only once. Blood is coming only once to the heart, and that to which blood is coming? Deoxygenated blood is coming to the heart. And the same deoxygenated blood is sending out of the heart. But it is going to the gills for oxygenation, for exchange of gases. And because of this, CO2 is removed and oxygen is coming. Once oxygen is coming, now it is called oxygenated blood. And this oxygenated blood is directly supplied to tissues. It is not going to the heart again. Please observe carefully. It is directly supplied to the tissues. Tissues will utilize the oxygen and they will release the CO2. So that again they are forming deoxygenated blood. And this deoxygenated blood is coming to this one. So in this way, 2-chambered heart is having one auricle, one ventricle. And it is seen in the fishes. And here what type of circulation? Single or double circulation? It is single circulation. Single circulation. Single circulation. What is this single circulation means? Blood in one complete cycle. In one complete cycle, suppose you are starting with tissues and coming to the tissues. Start with tissues and come to the tissues. Every time let us keep this as standard. So these are the body parts or the tissues. Start with the tissues and again come to the tissues. And in this complete cycle, how many times blood is going through the heart? Only once it is going through the heart. This is one important point. That's why it is called as single circulation. And that too, in the case of 2-chambered heart or the heart of the fishes, blood is collecting deoxygenated blood and it is sending also deoxygenated blood. This is the most important point that you need to understand very clearly. Whereas tissues are getting oxygenated blood from where? Are they getting oxygenated blood directly from the heart? No. First this deoxygenated blood is going to gills. From the gills they are directly getting the oxygenated blood. So this is some basic common important information that you need to remember. That's it. With this, two-chambered heart and single circulation concept is completed. Clear? Very simple. The same thing now we will see with the help of diagram. So this is the fish, heart, gills are there. Heart is collecting the deoxygenated blood. Same deoxygenated blood is going to the gills for oxygenation, and oxygenated blood is supplied to the body parts. And again from that deoxygenated blood is collected. It is rotated. That's it. And first initially it is entering into atria and then it is entering into the ventricle. Atrium, ventricle. Okay. So this is what we are saying. So this is the rough diagram. So this is the heart. Okay. From the body parts it is collecting deoxygenated blood. From here it is sending to gills, and again oxygenated blood is going to the body parts. Diagram. Simple rough diagram. This much is enough. Clear? With this two-chambered heart in the fish is completed. Now we are talking about the three-chambered heart. But this three-chambered heart, the information we are studying in two different things. With respect to amphibians we are studying, with respect to reptiles we are studying, because there is a small difference there. There is a very, very small difference. Remaining information is same only. So here what we are observing is, first we will see for three-chambered heart of amphibians. Three-chambered heart of amphibians. Three-chambered heart of amphibians. Please remember what are the blood vessels, all these things you don't need to worry. Simply you just understand the NCERT information, because if you are keep on studying about each type, regarding each type itself it will take 1 hour. So we don't need that much. What is needed only that much you please study. Okay. So regarding the three-chambered heart of amphibians, here generally what we are saying, three-chambered heart means there is one ventricle, only one ventricle is present. But how many atria are present? Two atria are present. Two atria are present. Please observe carefully here. Okay. This is what let us write. So now these are the atria. Two atria are present. Okay. Two atria you can say, or two auricles also you can say. So these are the two atria. Two atria and one ventricle. So that's why it is the three chamber. Total three chambers are present. Now you understood what is this three chambered. But generally what we think. Now here this is the right side, right? This is the right and this is the left. Please remember here. And now this right side will collect deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. Whereas the left atrium will collect oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood. These are very, very important. But what happens is from the right atrium deoxygenated blood. From the left atrium oxygenated blood. Now both of them are mixed here. Please observe this one. This is deoxygenated blood that is collected from the body parts. This is the oxygenated blood that is collected mainly from the lungs. If you are talking about the frog, in the case of frog what we are saying, skin is also involving in exchange of gases. That means from the skin also oxygenated blood is coming. And next one, even the buccopharyngeal, the epithelium, that is also involving in exchange of gases. Blood from that one also is coming. And anyhow lungs are there, blood from the lungs are also coming. So all the oxygenated blood is coming into this one. So in this way, oxygenated blood here, deoxygenated blood here. But what is happening? This right atrium, left atrium, both of them are opening into the same ventricle. Now what happens? Both oxygenated, deoxygenated are mixed. So now it is the mixed blood. Now it will be distributed to body parts. So for this, now you need to understand another point. Here you are saying that deoxygenated blood is coming. But please remember, it is not directly coming into right atrium. Since frog information, amphibian means what? Frog example you can take. Since frog information is there in NCERT, we need to go through this another important information, so that when we study about the frog, then it will be easy for you. Now here in the dorsal view, if you are observing, so here what is happening? So from the upper sides here, two superior vena cava are coming. They are bringing deoxygenated blood. From the bottom, inferior vena cava is coming. That is also bringing deoxygenated blood. And all this deoxygenated blood, initially it is collected in a triangular shaped structure. a triangular shaped structure that is called sinus venosus. Please remember, this information we are studying only for amphibians, only for amphibians. Please observe this. And the same sentences were given even in frog information also. So that is very useful. So please remember this. So there is a triangular shaped structure called sinus venosus. It is initially collecting the deoxygenated blood from two superior vena cava and one inferior vena cava. And now this deoxygenated blood will go into right atrium. Now it is going into this, in this way, from this sinus venosus, it is coming into this right atrium. This is the one point that you need to add here. Clear? Next one, this is the mixed blood. How this mixed blood will be pumped out here? Now here for the ventricle, if you are drawing the diagram here, single ventricle, right? And now for this ventricle here, it is having a sac-like structure here. So for this one, in the form of the original diagram I will show you here, this is what. So it is having some sac-like structure here. And please remember, this is the mixed blood. Mixed blood from the ventricle is going initially into what? Truncus arteriosus. This name was also mentioned in the NCERT under the frog, not here, under the frog. There it will be useful, that's why I am telling you here. From the ventricle, this truncus arteriosus is coming. And what it is having? It is having the mixed blood. Both oxygenated, deoxygenated are mixed. That mixed blood is there. And now if you see this, now it is having the branches. And where they are going? Now these branches, overall if you see, they are sending blood to the lungs for oxygenation, to the skin for oxygenation, and to the buccopharyngeal epithelium for the oxygenation. This is for oxygenation. And not only this, the same blood is sent to the body parts also. Same blood is sent to the body parts also. In this way, the mixed blood is sent to lungs. I am focusing mainly on the lungs. Mixed blood is sent to lungs and also sent to the body parts. And from the lungs again, it is coming to the left atrium. From the body parts again, it is coming to the right atrium. This is what happening here. So now for this, I will draw one rough diagram here. Okay. So in this way, mixed blood is sent here. Now how exactly we are drawing this rough diagram? Now I will draw the rough diagram so that now we will see the sequence and everything. Okay. Now observe carefully. So this is the one ventricle. Okay. So this is two atria. This is the right atrium, this is the left atrium, this is the ventricle. A means atrium, okay? This is the ventricle, single ventricle. Nice. Now what we need to talk? We need to talk about the lungs here. Lungs here. And we need to talk about the body parts. Body parts means tissues. Body parts means what? Tissues. Now observe the sequence very carefully. Whether it is single circulation or double circulation, how we will decide this? Now that information you need to observe very carefully. We are starting with body parts. Again we need to end with body parts. Now that will be one complete cycle. In this complete cycle, how many times blood is passing through this heart? This is the sequence. Now observe carefully. From the body parts, it is going to sinus venosus. From this again going into right atrium. From this again it is going into right atrium. Yes or no? This is the deoxygenated blood. Clear? From the right atrium, it is going into ventricle. From the right atrium, it is going into the ventricle. Nice. Let us see. Next one here. From this one, if you are observing here, from the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming. From the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming here. Clear? And this oxygenated blood is also coming into the ventricle. And now here it is mixed. Yes or no? Now this mixed blood is going to the lungs and the mixed blood is going to the body parts also. Observe very carefully here. I am using the different colors here. So from the body parts, deoxygenated blood is going into right atrium. From there it is going into the ventricle. So in the ventricle it will become mixed. Wait there. And from the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming to left atrium. From there it is going into ventricle and there also it is mixed with deoxygenated. So both oxygenated, deoxygenated are mixed. And now this mixed blood, same mixed blood is going to the lungs and also it is sent to the body parts. Clear? And now how you will see this particular cycle? Now let us observe this cycle sequence. What is the other color we can use? This one let us use. This one let us use. I don't know whether you can see or not. Okay, let us use this one, no problem. So here let us see how you will see the cycle. You need to start with the body part, again end with the body part. But when you are doing like this, observe carefully. From the body parts to the right atrium to the ventricle, right atrium to the ventricle, from the ventricle, if you are observing like this, it came here. Only once it is coming here. Once it is coming here. But if you are observing in a different way, what is that different way? Body part to the right atrium to the ventricle, and from here to the lungs. There is this possibility is also there. From the lungs again, it is coming to left atrium, and again to the ventricle, and again it is coming like this. Again it is coming like this. In this way, what happens? Once in one side, if you are observing, it is only once. In a different side, if you are observing, it is going two times. In one particular sequence, if you observe, it is going once, but in other sequence, if you are observing, it is going two times. And that's why this is called as, that's why this type of circulation is called as two times. At least two times it is going in some cases, right? So that's why it is called incomplete double circulation. Incomplete double circulation. Observe very carefully here. Incomplete double circulation. Very, very important. So in some cases it is going two times. That's why you are using double, but it is not always two times. Sometimes it may be one time also. Based on the way in which we are observing. So that's why it is called incomplete double circulation. So in this way, in the case of amphibians, if you are observing, two atria are present, one ventricle is present. Clear? And within the ventricle, oxygenated, deoxygenated are mixed. That means mixed blood is going to the lungs, mixed blood is going to the body parts. Clear? And here this is called as incomplete double circulation. Two times it is passing through the heart, and it is considered as incomplete double circulation because there is a bypassing here also. This is what the logic that you need to understand with respect to amphibian heart. And now we are going with the three-chambered heart of reptiles. Now we are going with three-chambered heart of reptiles. Three-chambered heart of reptiles. Observe carefully. Diagram is almost same. There is a very small difference here. I hope now you understood this. This is the heart. Now from the body, deoxygenated blood is coming here. And from this, from the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming here. Now it is mixed here. Now mixed blood is going to lungs, mixed blood is again coming to the body parts in this way. Okay, this is what happening here. I hope now you understood this. And now we will go with three-chambered heart of reptiles, but except crocodiles, because crocodiles will come under four-chambered heart. Here the difference is, though single ventricle is there, partially developed septum is present here. Even the partially developed septum, it is single ventricle only. Yes or no? So that's why diagram is almost same here also. Understood or not? So here how exactly we are drawing these particular diagrams. Observe here carefully. Here also there is a single ventricle. Single ventricle is present, but here actually in the evolution it is taking place, right? There is a septum development within the ventricle. Even though septum is developed here, this is not completely developed, it is incomplete. It is incomplete septum. So because of the incomplete septum, what happens? Again on these two sides, again mixed only. So up to this, it is the ventricle, but it is developed only up to this one. Now again it is combinedly, again it is becoming one only. But in the case of four-chambered, what happened? It became complete. So these two got separated in the four-chambered heart. But still it is three-chambered only. So it is considered as one ventricle only. This is one ventricle only. This is having incomplete septum. Incomplete septum. Please understand this. There is incomplete septum that is developed here. So still it is considered as single ventricle only. And the remaining information is same only. Here also, now you can observe carefully here. So these two are atria. How many are present? Two atria, one ventricle. That's why it is That's why it is 3-chambered heart. And here what happens? Same general information. This is collecting deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood. This is the right and this is the left. Left is collecting oxygenated blood from the lungs. And now deoxygenated from this, oxygenated from this. Now they are mixed again. Now they are mixed here. Now here what happens? There is a pulmonary artery that is taking to the lungs. And there are two systemic arches that are present here. And they are to the body parts. To the body parts. To the body parts. So now here also almost the concept is same only. Here also concept is almost same only. So here what we are writing here. Now once again I will draw the rough diagram. Observe carefully here. We are writing the lungs here. In the case of reptiles, the lungs are present. And here we are writing the body parts. Body parts. And with respect to the heart, if you are observing, okay, so two atria are completely separate, but in the ventricle, incomplete septum is there. So this is the ventricle, this is the atrium, this is the atrium, this is the right atrium, this is the left atrium. Understood? And here what happens? Same mechanism. From the body parts, deoxygenated blood is going to right atrium. From the right atrium, it is going into the ventricle. Next one. From the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming to left atrium. From the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming to left atrium. From the left atrium, oxygenated blood is coming into the ventricle. Now within the ventricle, now it is mixed. Within the ventricle, it is mixed. Now this mixed blood is going to the lungs. Now this mixed blood is also coming to the body parts. Now here also mixed blood is going to the body parts. Here also you can see body parts to heart, ventricle, atrium, ventricle. Again, if you are following this one, again it is coming to body part. So in this way it is, in this complete circle, blood is going only once. Suppose you are talking like body parts to right atrium, ventricle, lungs, again heart, again body parts. Now in this way if you are observing, two times. So one time is also possible, two times is also possible. So that's why this is also again considered as incomplete double circulation. So in this way, in the 3-chambered heart, we are observing incomplete double circulation. Why we are drawing a separate diagram for amphibians, and this is for amphibians and this is for the reptiles. Why we are making a separate diagram? Overall, if you see, here ventricle is single only, here also ventricle is single only, but incompletely developed septum is present. To say that when I have drawn one more diagram, that's it. So in this way it is present, but then number of all these things slightly different. Overview, if you are observing, here also we are observing incomplete double circulation. So in this way, 3-chambered heart is present in amphibians and reptiles, but not in the crocodiles. Clear? Next one. Reptiles, but not crocodiles, because crocodiles originally they will come under reptiles, but they are not following this, they will come under the next group. Now what type of circulation we are observing? Incomplete double circulation we are observing. That's what the information regarding this particular 3-chambered heart. And once we are completing with this 3-chambered heart, now we can go with 4-chambered heart. So this is the 3-chambered heart. So this is except reptiles. Now we are going with 4-chambered heart. This information is for crocodiles, birds, mammals. Mammals means human is also part of mammal. So that's why for the human also this is the information. And here how exactly we are studying the information. Observe carefully here. Now we are studying about the 4-chambered heart. Now we are studying about 4-chambered heart. In the case of 4-chambered heart, what happens? Here septum got completely developed. So that's why both the ventricles got separated. So that's why two ventricles are present. And above this atria are present, and these are the two atria that are present. So since two atria plus two ventricles, total 4 chambers are present in the heart. That's why it is the 4-chambered heart. Clear? And in the case of 4-chambered heart, what we are saying here? Here, suppose here are the lungs, and here the body parts, tissues. Now let us see how exactly the circulation is taking place. Anyhow, complete mechanism in the next coming lectures we will study. This is just simply for understanding purpose, right? Now let us see. From the tissues, deoxygenated blood. This is the right atrium. This is the left atrium. Okay. So this is the right ventricle. This is the left ventricle. Left side, right side, don't get confused. This is not with respect to you. This is with respect to me, right? This is the right side. This is the left side. Always for the human diagrams, we are studying like this only. Please remember this. So this is the right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Now what we are saying, from the body parts or from the tissues, deoxygenated blood is going into right atrium. From the right atrium, it will go into right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it will go to the lungs. It will go to the lungs. Up to this spot is deoxygenated blood. Now on the other side, from the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming to left ventricle. From the lungs, oxygenated blood is coming into the left atrium. Okay, and from the left atrium, oxygenated blood is going into left ventricle. From the left ventricle, oxygenated blood is going to the tissues. Now observe carefully. Here there is no mixing of blood. Here there is no mixing of blood. If you are starting with the tissues, from the tissues to the heart once, lungs, again to the heart again. Yes or no? That means it is coming to the heart 2 times and then to the tissues. If you are starting with tissues and ending with tissues, now here completely it is compulsorily it is coming 2 times to the heart. Since it is coming 2 times to the heart, it is called complete double circulation. Previous 2 are, in the case of amphibians, what we studied, amphibians and reptiles we studied incomplete double, but here it is complete double circulation. Complete double circulation we are observing in the case of 4-chambered heart. And in this case, we are using another names also. What are these names are called as? From the heart to the lungs, this particular one, lungs and heart, this particular circulation is called as pulmonary circulation. Pulmonary circulation means it is involving heart and lungs. Between this to and fro, this is called as pulmonary circulation. But here what we are observing, between heart and the tissues we are observing body parts and the heart. Here body parts to the heart to the body parts, and this part is called as systemic circulation. It is called as systemic circulation. In this way, these are very clearly separated here. But in the case of previous case, that pulmonary and systemic circulations are not clearly separated because the mixed blood is going, same mixed blood is going to lungs and the same mixed blood is going to even body tissues also. This is what the problem in the previous case. But here you can clearly separate all these things. That's why it is called as complete double circulation. And this type of heart and this type of circulation we are observing in the 4-chambered heart, that we are observing in crocodiles, birds and even the mammals also. This is what. This is the heart. From the body parts, it is going to the right side of the heart. They are not mixed, right? Right side, right atrium, right ventricle. From there, it is going to the lungs. From the lungs again, it is coming to the oxygenated blood is coming to left side of heart. So left atrium, left ventricle. From there again, it is going to the body part. So right side of the heart is having deoxygenated blood, and the left side part, those 2 chambers are having oxygenated blood. So in this way, 2 times it is going through the heart. That's why it is called as complete double circulation, because there is no mixing of the blood here. Blood is not mixed here. Deoxygenated and oxygenated are completely separated in the heart. Clear? This is what the information they are saying. That's it. So that's why single circulation we are observing in the case of fishes which are having 2-chambered heart. Double circulation we are observing in the double also again, incomplete double and a complete double. Incomplete double we are observing in amphibians and reptiles except crocodiles, and complete double circulation we are observing in crocodiles, birds and mammals. Basic information, already we covered this. Same information I have written here. Fishes, 2-chambered heart is present, single circulation we are observing. Amphibians and reptiles except crocodiles, 3-chambered heart is there, incomplete double circulation we are observing. Crocodiles, birds and mammals, 4-chambered heart is there, and complete double circulation we are observing. Now quickly we will go with NCERT content. All vertebrates possess means have all vertebrates possess a muscular chambered heart. It is made up of the muscles. Anyhow, we will study about the more details in the next coming lectures. So this heart is made up of the muscles. Yes or no? This muscular contraction is able to pump the blood from this particular heart. Next one, fishes have two chambered heart with two chambers. Or what out of this, what are the chambers? One is atrium, other one is the ventricle. One chamber is ventricle, other chamber is ventricle. In this way, two chambers are present. Amphibians and reptiles. Reptiles means except crocodiles. They have three chambered heart. So what are these three chambers? With two atria and a single ventricle. So two atria and one ventricle is present. Whereas crocodiles, birds and mammals possess four chambered heart. So they are having four chambers total with two atria and two ventricles. What is the overall count? Two atria are present and two ventricles are present. Next one, in fishes, the heart pumps out deoxygenated blood. It is collecting deoxygenated blood, pumping also deoxygenated blood in the case of fishes, two chambered heart. Okay, and which is oxygenated by the gills. Oxygenation is occurring in the gills and supplied to the body parts from where, and supplied to the body parts means directly from the gills. Oxygenated blood is supplied to body parts. From where? From where means from the body parts. Deoxygenated blood is returned to heart. So that's why it is single circulation. From the heart, it is going to the gills. From the gills, it is going to the body parts. From the body parts again coming to the heart. So in this way, it is circulated. That's why it is called as single circulation. So two chambered heart, fishes, single circulation. Clear. Next one. In amphibians and reptiles. Reptiles means except crocodiles. The left atrium receives. Left side atrium is receiving oxygenated blood, maybe from the gills or lungs or skin according to the organisms. And right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the other body parts. From the other body parts, it is receiving the deoxygenated blood. However, they get mixed up in the single ventricle. Since single ventricle is there, it will be mixed up there, which pumps out mixed blood. So ventricle is always sending mixed blood. That means it is incomplete double circulation we are observing. Next one, in the case of crocodiles, birds and mammals. Okay, what we are observing, oxygenated and deoxygenated blood received by the left and right atria respectively. What is the meaning of this one? What is this respectively? Oxygenated blood is received by left atrium, deoxygenated blood is received by right atrium. That is what the respective words. Passes on to the ventricles of the same side. That means from right atrium it is going to right ventricle, from left atrium it is going into left ventricle. In this way it is passing on to the same sides. Next one, the ventricles pump it out without any mixing up. So within the ventricles, blood is not mixed because they are completely separated. That is, two separate circulatory pathways are present within these organisms. Two separate pathways. One is for deoxygenated, one is for oxygenated. Understood or not? Two separate things are present. Hence, these animals have double circulation. That means blood is passing through the heart two times. Yes or no? Before reaching the tissues. So let us study the human circulatory system. So this is what the general comparison regarding all these things. But anyhow, separately in the next coming lectures, we will study about human heart specifically, how exactly structure, what is the structure, how exactly functioning, what is the cardiac cycle, many things are there. So one by one we will study in the next coming lectures. Okay. With this particular lecture is completed. We will meet in the next lecture. Thank you.